So welcome to the Stepping Stone Olympiad and IIT Mathematics training. Okay. So this is our next lecture, continuation of the previous on natural number systems. Okay. Now, so in the last class we have discussed rational numbers and their decimal representation and how to convert when decimal form is given into the form of P by Q, all those. Now let us do a few problems on this. Now, so see the first problem. Find 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4. Now, so how to find 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4? Anybody knows? No. Okay. So one method is by taking the average of the numbers. That average of the numbers is always lie between the given two numbers. Now, tell me what the average of 3 and 4? 3 plus 4 by 2. That means 7 by 2. So 7 by 2 is always lie between them. That is 3 less than 7 by 2 less than 4. Now, but this is only one rational number. How many rational numbers we want? 6 rational numbers is required. That means again you can take the average of these two. One more you will get, that is 3 plus 7 by 2 again divide by 2. And again for this 7 by 2 plus 4 upon 2. That means now how many numbers are there now? Simplify this and tell me what you'll get. 6 plus 7, 13 by 4. And this is 7 plus 8, 15 by 4. That means now the numbers are what? 3, 13 by 4. Next, 7 by 2. Next, 15 by 4. Next, 4. Now, so totally now we got as what? 3 numbers. What we want is 6. So again, either you can take between these two, or between these two, or between these two, and between these two. So go on, proceed by taking the average, and then whatever the required number you do it, you can get it. This is the first method. Have you understood the first method? You just write roughly only the calculation part. You write the notes later. Second method. Now, what the second method is, when the difference is 1 between these two numbers, and when we want 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4, you multiply and divide with 6 plus 1, that is 7. So 3 into 7 upon 7, that is how much? 21 by 7. And 4 into 7 upon 7, that is 28 by 7. Now between 21 and 28, because the denominators are same. Now you can write the numerator. So what are the numbers between 21 and 28? You can take as 22 by 7, 23 by 7, 24 by 7, 25 by 7, 26 by 7. Next, 27 by 7. The next one will be what? 28 by 7 only. So how many are there? 6. Now, in the above method which we have calculated, sometimes they may coincide exactly, sometimes they may not coincide exactly. Okay, but still you will have several rational numbers are there. So that's why the methods are different and the numbers between them also may not be the same. Next, one more method, third method. You take the given numbers as A and B. So consider A equal to 3 and B equal to 4. Then what you calculate is first B minus A upon N plus 1, where N is the number of rational numbers to be inserted. So in this problem, we want to insert 6. So that means N equal to 6. So what is this value will be now? B minus A, 1 upon 7. So this 1 upon 7, you go on add to the first number. So that means if I consider this is some symbol D, if I take, so A plus D, A is 3. So A plus D is one number. Next, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, A plus 4D, A plus 5D, A plus 6D. If I take A plus 7D, you'll get the next number only. So these are the 6 rational numbers. So the first one will be what? 3 plus 1 by 7. So what is this equal to? 21 plus 1. So 22 by 7. Check, is it same as here also? So 22 by 7 only. In the same manner, you can calculate the remaining. And all this you try to calculate and write the numbers. Okay. So go through once again the 3 methods. So first method is using the average. Second method is if the difference is 1, so you multiply and divide with 6 plus 1, 7 upon 7. And then list the numerator because denominator is same. In case if the denominators are not same, first you have to make it the same by using the LCM of denominators. Third method is you take first number as A, second number as B and calculate B minus A upon N plus 1 that you consider as D and add D continuously. Try the next problem. Find 5 rational numbers between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. So one answer is 31 upon 50, 32 upon 50, 33 upon 50, 34 upon 50, 35 upon 50 by multiplying with the 10 numerator and denominator. So another method is because we want to have 5, so multiply with the 6 numerator denominator. That means 18 upon 30 and this will be 24 upon 30. Now write between 18 and 24. So between 18 and 24, what are those? 19 upon 30, 20 upon 30, 21 upon 30, 22 upon 30, 23 upon 30. Then next one will be what? 24 upon 30. Okay. So even you can do using this method also by calculating the D value and then add go on. Any other answer? So here 31 upon 50, how you have done is either you have multiplied by 10 and divide, or else you have taken directly 3.1 upon 5, 3.2 upon 5, like that you have taken after the decimal you have removed. That's why you got these numbers. Is it so? Okay. Now try this. Find 5 rational numbers between 1 by 7 and 2 by 3. Now observe here. denominators are not same. So first you convert the denominators to be same by taking the LCM. So here LCM of 7 and 3 is 21. So make the denominators to be same and then observe the numerators, and between 3 and 14 you list the numbers because we want only 5 rational numbers. Do one more. Find 5 rational numbers between 5 by 6 and 8 by 9. Now, here also the denominators are not same. So use the LCM of denominators and convert into the same denominator and then write 5 rational numbers. Next. Representation of 4.2 on the number line. Now, 4.2 is a rational number. So how to represent 4.2 on the number line? Now you observe this. So we want to represent 4.2 on the number line. Now that means number line is this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4.2 means what? It will be between 4 and 5. Now you take 4 and 5 and between 4 and 5 you take equal parts, 10 equal parts. That is now it is 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 up to 4.9, then it is 5 because we want 4.2. So the second one. So this will be the 4.2. Now suppose if I want to represent 4.83 on the number line, then again we have to take first between 4 and 5, 10 equal parts like before. So 4 and 5, 10 equal parts. So 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 up to 5. Now 4.8, 3 we want. So now you take 4.8 to 4.9. Again that you divide into again 10 equal parts. That is, this will be now what? 4.81, 82, 83 and so on, 89, 4.9. Now 4.83 is required. Now 4.83 is this one. That is basically here we are magnifying this portion and then dividing into 10 equal parts. So if one more digit is there, then what you have to do is you have to continue in the same process. So far it is a terminated number. 4.82 is a terminated and 4.83 is a terminated. Suppose if it is a non-terminated and repeated, then how to do? So let us consider 4.62 bar means 4.6222 and so on. Now procedure is same. So first between 4 and 5, again magnify and 10 equal parts. Now 4.6, 4.7, again magnify it, 10 equal parts. Again that means 4.62 we have reached. Next digit will be what? Again 2, again 2. So it will be continuously. That is 4.6222 and so on. That means 4.62 to 4.63. Again magnify and again 10 equal parts. So 4.622 to 4.623. So go on, apply the same procedure. So you need to draw all these number lines. So like this you can continue. Next. Now so far we have discussed up to rational numbers. Now the question is this. Again the question is rise. Using the rational numbers, can we solve all the problems? Now tell me, is it true or false? Tell me, is it correct or wrong? Or yes or no? So the answer is no. So how to give the explanation? Suppose if I take x square plus 1 equal to 3. Now, tell me, is there any rational number satisfying this equation? Is there any rational number satisfying this equation? Is there any rational number satisfying this equation? There is no rational number. So mathematically, here you will write as x square equal to 3 minus 1, 2, and x equal to, will write as plus or minus root 2. So this you read as square root of 2. Now this is not a rational number. So this is not a rational number. Now, how to prove mathematically that root 2 is not a rational number? So root 2 is not a rational number. Now, so it is called irrational number. So the name is given as irrational. So the proof is, because we want to prove that root 2 is not a rational number, so we'll do it in the indirect method. Means indirect proof. So we'll assume that root 2 is a rational number of the form p by q, where p and q have no common factors. Then root 2 equal to p by q. You square it on both sides. When you square it on both sides, it will be what? 2 equal to p square upon q square. After squaring. Now cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, you will get as what? 2q square equal to p square. That means p square equal to 2q square. When p square equal to 2q square means left side is a multiple of 2, means p square is even. When p square is even, then p is also even, means 2 is a factor of p. So whenever p square is divisible by 2, so p is also divisible by 2. That means 2 is a factor of p. Once 2 is a factor of p, so we can write as a general form p equal to sum 2 into t. Now you substitute p equal to 2t here. Then 2q square equal to 4t square. Then q square equal to 2q square equal to 4t square. Then q square equal to 2t square. Then q square is again multiple of 2. That means q square is even. Then q is also even. That means 2 is a factor of q. Now previously we assumed that p and q have no common factor. But finally we got a conclusion that 2 is a factor for p and q. 2 is a common factor for p and q. So which is a contradiction to our assumption. That means what? What we have assumed is wrong. So we have assumed that root 2 is a rational number of the form p by q, which is wrong. That means root 2 is not a rational. So root 2 is not a rational. So the name is given as irrational number. So this is a mathematical explanation. Now, so square root of positive rational numbers, square root of positive rational numbers which are not perfect squares are all irrational numbers. That is, square root of n is an irrational number where n is a positive rational number but not a perfect square. So here if n is not a perfect square, then square root of n will be an irrational number. That means root 2. Next, root 3, because 3 is also not a perfect square. Can I say root 4 is a irrational or rational? Root 4 is a
Irrational.
so root 4 is a rational because root 4 equal to 2 because 4 is a perfect square. Next, root 5. 5 is not a perfect square. So root 5 is irrational. Next, root 6 is irrational. Root 7 is irrational and so on. Now, not only square root of numbers, positive numbers, the nth root of a, you read this as nth root of a is also an irrational provided a is a positive rational and not the nth power of some integer. That means a should not be, that is a is not equal to some x power n. When a is not possible to express nth power of some number, that is some integer, then we can say that nth root of a is a irrational. Now, this form is called a surd. The above form is also called a surd of order n because it is nth root of a, it is a surd of order n. Now, when I write root 2, means it is a surd of order how much? 2. What about fifth root of 7? It is a surd of order how much? Order 5. Don't write the notes now. Just you concentrate on the discussion only. You write later. Thanks. So we know how to calculate square root of positive numbers. Now, have you remembered how to calculate square roots? In the last year you have done how to calculate square root of numbers.
Sir, that number into number.
Long division method. Have you remembered how to calculate square root of numbers? So if we try to calculate square root of 2 in decimal form, you will find that after the decimal, the digits neither terminate nor recurring. Whereas for rational numbers, either it will be terminate or recurring, but here neither terminate nor recurring. Now, so let us calculate root 2 for up to few decimals. Now, so square root of 2, square root of 3. I hope you can understand this method if you have remembered. So 2, because we want to calculate square root of 2. After that, put dot and zeros. You can go on add. That is 2 zeros. Put a bar on that. Now, I think you know the procedure, how to calculate square root of numbers. Can you understand this? So if you go on calculate, the decimals will be what? 1.41421 and so on you will get. That means after the decimal, the digits neither repeat nor stop. And try to remember this value also. So 1.414 you try to remember approximately. So we'll use root 2 approximately as 1.414. That in problems, approximation will be taken and that will be used. Now in the same manner, square root of 3, 1.732 and so on. So this 1.732, you try to remember root 3 value approximately. So the numbers in decimal form, after the decimal, the digits neither terminate nor repeat are called irrational numbers. So remember the definition. Next. So the symbols pi and a are special irrational numbers called transcendental numbers. Now, so relating to this, you are going to learn in higher studies in the 11th and 12th classes. So up to that, just remember that pi and a are also irrational numbers, but they are specifically called transcendental numbers. Next, rational numbers and irrational numbers together forms a real numbers. So that means real numbers contain rational numbers as well as irrational numbers. Representation of real numbers on the number line. So previously we have discussed how to represent rational numbers. Now let us discuss how to represent irrational numbers. Now representation of root 2 on the number line. Now, so take a number line. Now from 0 to 1, you take 1 unit and draw perpendicular at 1. So let us consider the symbol is P. So OP length is 1 unit. After taking OP length 1 unit, you mark it at P and draw a perpendicular 1 unit. So PA is also 1 unit. Now you join OA. Now it will be a right angle triangle. So you know how to calculate hypotenuse. So O P square plus P A square equal to O A square. So OA equal to square root of OP square 1 plus 1, that is root 2. Now this length, OA length is root 2. Now we need to represent root 2 as a point on the number line. So when you want to represent root 2 as a point on the number line, what you do is take OA as a radius and draw an arc with O as center. Then this will be the arc. That is a part of a circle with center O and OA as a radius. So when you draw the arc, it will intersect the number line at a point B. When it intersects at a point B, the length of OB will be same as length of OA. Why? Because both are radii. Because OA length is root 2. So OB length is also root 2. Now B corresponds to a point on the number line. That means we are able to express irrational number as a point on the number line. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if I want to represent root 3, think all of you how to represent root 3 on the number line and then tell me. Now, so one method of representing root 3 on the number line is, here we have constructed root 2. Now again, OA length is root 2. Now you draw a perpendicular to OA of unit length. Let us say this point is some Q. So OA is root 2 and AQ is 1 unit. Now join these two, OQ. Now, again, this will be a right angle triangle. So OQ using Pythagoras theorem. So OQ equal to, what should I write now? Square root of OA square plus AQ square. OA square plus AQ square. So OA square root 2 whole square 2 plus 1 square 1 means it is root 3. So OQ length is now root 3. Now again the same manner with O as center, OQ as a radius, you draw an arc. So it may come like this. Somewhere it will intersect. Let us consider this is C. So the length of OC will be same as what? Length of OQ, which is root 3. That means root 3 as a point on the number line. This is one method. Another method is, instead of constructing a right angle here, you can draw a perpendicular at B itself. You observe the next one. Figure. Here you observe. So here, so at B, we are drawing a perpendicular, half length 1 unit. Now you join OC. Now again, using right angle triangle property, that is OC square equal to what? OB square plus BC square. So OC equal to square root of OB square. OB is root 2. So root 2 whole square, which is 2 plus BC length is 1 we have taken. So 1. So it will be what? Root 3. So OC length is what now? Root 3. Now OC length is root 3. Now with O as center and OC as a radius, you are drawing an arc. So it is intersecting the number line at D. So the length of OD will be same as the length of OC by because both are the radii only. So D corresponds to a point on the number line. Have you understood both the methods? Either you can construct on this right angle triangle and go on, or else here you draw a perpendicular and do it. So like this, you can represent root 3, root 4, root 5, root 6, root 7, and so on. All numbers you can represent. Now, instead of constructing continuously root 3 and then root 4 and then root 5, suppose if I want to construct root 5 directly, can you tell me how to construct root 5 on the number line? So instead of constructing root 2, root 3, root 4, and then root 5, is it possible to construct root 5 directly? Think and tell me how to construct root 5 on the number line as a point. So when you want to represent root 5 as a point on the number line, you try to split 5 as sum of two perfect squares. Tell me 5 as sum of two perfect squares, what I can write? Sum of two perfect squares. Can I write 2 square plus 1 square? That means using this, you can get the figure easily. Now, observe. So now we are taking on the number line. Previously, you are taking 1 unit length. Now you take 2 unit length. That means take this OP is 2 units, this length now, and PA is 1 unit. So at P, you are drawing a perpendicular PA as 1 unit. After that, join. Now using Pythagoras theorem, then OA will be what? Root 5. Because 2 square plus 1, 5. So OA will be root 5. Now again with O as center and OA as a radius, draw an arc. So this is the point. So this point corresponds to root 5. Now, shall I give one more problem? Will you try?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Try for 13. Square root of 13. If you are able to get 13 as sum of two perfect squares, then it is easy to construct one figure. Think all of you and tell me. Sum of two perfect squares. What way I can take? Fast. At least one of you. Three square. How much?
9.
Plus. How much I should take? 4. Which is same as what? 2 square. That means what? Horizontally take 3 units and vertically take 2 units. That means this is 3 units. Now you draw a perpendicular here. How many units we should take now here? 2 units we have to take. Because here 3 units and here 2 units. And then join. Now this length will be what? Root of 30. Now again draw a arc. So somewhere it will intersect. So that point corresponds to what? Root 30. Okay. Now, representation of 2 plus root 3 on the number line. How to represent 2 plus root 3 on the number line? How to represent 2 plus root 3 on the number line? Previously, we have discussed how to represent root 3. Then when we want to have 2 plus root 3 on the number line, so how to do it? So small difference is there in the previous derivation to this for root 3 and 2 plus root 3. If you want, I will show you again. Here itself is a root 3. This is one method, what we have done. Another method is here we have done. So in these methods, we have started with 0. So instead of starting with 0, now you shift 0 to 2. Because we want to have 2 plus root 3. So you start at 2. So when you start at 2, this is 1 unit, 2 to 3 is 1 unit, and this is also 1 unit. So this length will be what? Root 2. Now again draw a perpendicular here, 1 unit. Then this length will be what? Root 3. Now when you draw an arc with A as a center and AC as a radius, then it will intersect at 3, this point. Now this point D corresponds to what? 2 plus root 3. Why? Because you have to measure from the origin, that is from 0. Because 0 to 2 is 2 units, and from here to here it is root 3. So that's why this point corresponds to what? 2 plus root 3 units. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll continue in the next class few more concepts and problems also. Okay. Now, can you recap what we have discussed today? What we have discussed today? At least some names you tell me, whatever you have remembered.
Sir, rational numbers, irrational numbers.
So we have discussed the problems on rational number, that is how to write some rational numbers between two given rational numbers. And how many rational numbers you can write is between two rational numbers is infinite rational numbers you can write. After that, we have discussed the numbers whose decimal expansion neither terminates nor repeats. Such numbers are called what? Irrational numbers. And also other forms are what? Third form also we have discussed. And two special irrational numbers we have discussed. What are those? Pi and E are two special irrational numbers. Those are called what? Transcendental numbers. Now after that, we have discussed how to represent rational numbers and irrational numbers on the number line as a point. Okay. So, okay, we'll conclude now. So we'll continue in the next class. Okay.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye all of you. Thank you.